day. Grind it, I'ma put the time in, diamond. Go and turn it up till I'm shining, wildin'. Breakneck speed when I'm driving, silence. I'm just trying to check the mileage. Now I'm going up like a pilot. Houston, I don't think they used to the problem. I got a boost with the crowd, get loud now. Yeah, I'm coming down and you ready or not. I'm coming in hot. Ready or not. I'm coming in hot. Are you ready? Ready? Coming in hot if you ready or not. If you ready or not. If you ready or not. I'm coming in hot if you ready or not. Guess who came with the danger? Look at how far we came up. Worlds apart, we like strangers. Bet they wish they could change us. Don't hold your breath, I've been waiting for this moment. Behold the best. Kept secret in the world, we control the steps. We waited for our time, now we are the great. This is how you overcome. Never quit, get until it's overdone. Where they at? I feel like I'm the only one. Passion, hold on out, cause we just begun. It's my time, the break's on. Hot ground, take off. Shake off, wake off. I'm coming in. You ready or not? I'm coming in. Are you ready? Coming in hot if you ready or not. You ready or not? You ready or not? I'm coming in hot if you ready or not. I'm just trying to check the mileage. Now I'm going up like a pilot. Houston, I don't think they used to the problem. I got a boost with the crowd, get loud now. Yeah, I'm coming down if you ready or not. I'm coming in hot. If you ready or not. I'm coming in hot. Are you ready? Coming in hot if you ready or not. If you ready or not. If you ready or not. I'm coming in hot if you ready or not. Guess who came with the danger? Look at how far we came up. Worlds apart, we like strangers. Bet they wish they could change us. Don't hold your breath, I've been waiting for this moment. Behold the best. Kept secret in the world, we control the steps. We waited for our time, now we are the great. This is how you overcome. Never quit, get until it's overdone. Where they at? I feel like I'm the only one. Passion, hold on out, cause we just begun. It's my time, the break's on. Hot ground, take off. Shake off, wake off. Coming in.
Well, welcome everyone. As you read in the title and everyone I've been advertising for the past couple of days, this is the Natural Ones podcast. Episode 1, that is. This is where we're going to kind of talk about some podcasts, some efeds that are within our working circle. I'm going to try to cover this every once in a while, maybe once, twice a month. It's not going to be an every week thing. I was actually not even planning on doing one tonight. But I had forgot that FTW's pay-per-view was coming up, so I wouldn't have had time. Let's go ahead and kick it on off. We're going to go ahead and start with Elite Marks. So let me go ahead and pull their... Wait a minute here, guys. I made a boo-boo. There we go. Just so everyone knows, make sure that you join our YouTube channel at Warriors Entertainment. It's also good to make sure that you're part of that YouTube channel because we get flagged a lot for copyright stuff. And if you ever just disappear off the page, you can always usually go to YouTube. Because usually YouTube, we don't ever hardly get flagged. It's always fucking Facebook that likes to lay the dick to us about the copyright of the music. Let me take a couple of quick... How about that? I mean... I don't know what the hell would make smoke show up on the screen, but maybe it's this damn computer, man. It's getting a little bit old. What's up, Mr. Glenn Sexton? How are you doing, sir? Let's go and start off with Elite Marks. Let's talk about that. Everyone knows that they just had WrestleMania 3. This is the third time they've had this show. They had a really good pay-per-view that I feel like they put on. It was a couple of day thing. A lot of shockers, a lot of turns, a lot of surprises, stuff that a lot of people in controversy. Let me just add that main event had a lot of controversy around it, the way it ended. Let's go ahead and start it off and talk about some of the things that happened in that. You had Army of One versus Balsalini. You also had, let's see, Penthouse made their comeback after 2 years and are now the new tag team champions. They won them from Entourage. I did not get the Army of One versus Ball Circle. Somehow I skipped over that. Who won that one? If y'all know who won that one, put it in the comment over here. I can't remember. I think Army of One won that match. Don't hold it against me if you didn't. But I think that's how I remember it going down. You also had Thompson versus Stump, where Thompson gets the win. Army of One did get it. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Haywood. He's undefeated, Mr. Haywood says. Army of One got the win over there, over Boss. Let me stop and talk about that for a minute because I kind of don't want to spend too much time because I got a lot to cover in a very short amount of time. But Army of One is a very good promo artist. I've seen him do a couple of things. He came over here and he worked with us in the main event versus A-List Alverson. Sure he is. That's what they all say. He worked some matches. He worked a match over here in Revolution. Did really good. Gave A-Lister a run for his money. Balsalini is a good promo artist also, but Army One got the edge over on him. You also had, like I said, you had Thompson versus Stump. Thompson gets the win here. I think Stump. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Stump is not doing great as the Stump character so much anymore because he's doing so good as Stumpy. He's doing so good as that clown role. I don't know if his heart just ain't into the Stump role because he's doing so good in the Stumpy role, which I feel like everyone knows that Stumpy role that he fell into, that he ended up creating, that everyone laughed at him at first, is his best work that he's done as far as a promo artist goes, in my opinion. Now, some other people might not feel that way, but that's how I feel. I think that's some of the issue there. Why he's having some troubles getting some wins over there at Elite Marks. Next up, you had TDC versus Hossam versus Bree in a three-way for the Smack Talk Championship. Briggy was the current champion at this particular time. He's been the Smack Talk champion for a long time over in Elite Marks. I can tell you this, regardless of what happens, as I said, this will be an unfiltered show. So if you think that I'm going to cover up something on fill-ins or whatever the case may be, go ahead and click off now because I'm not. Everyone knows that me and Briggy had some issues. Me and Hoshins had issues in the past. But I'll tell you this. At the end of the day, when you show up and you put on a good show, you still earn my respect in a way, whether we had cross, whatever the case may be, off screen. Hossam really showed up in that fucking match. Hossam had me worried because when he come out and he started doing this other flip top gimmick that he was doing, where he was playing this madman on the edge thing, and like TDC was getting to him, and like, you know, he would tell me stuff in comments like, I can't get TDC out of my head until I beat him, you know. So really Hossam had the edge in that match from the standpoint that Hossam was the one that had his back against the wall trying to be the big name that beats a Briggy or a TDC. The biggest disadvantage in that match would have been Briggy. Now, some of this was self-inflicted because Briggy didn't hype. Briggy also spent many months, you know, we're not going to go into details why, but there was reasons that he couldn't have the belt on screen. Now, whether or not, you know, that's still going to hurt you in a match because it's going to get used. And I used it. You know, anyone else would have. When it comes down to a championship match, you're going to squeeze everything, every drop you can get out of that orange. I honestly felt like I could have done better in that three-way. Not to toot my own horn, but I've not been serious about promos as far as me being a promo artist, actually doing promos and competing for championships in over 2 years. I mean, when I laid my championship down from that forbidden place over there, I didn't even try to touch really champion. Now, I teased it in Revolution, like, I'm going to come after your belt. I was never fucking serious about doing it because it puts you in a weird state if you're trying to hold a belt. I feel like in your own company and be a CEO and a booker and everything, it really puts a tug on things. So I don't do it. I don't know. It just things spark, things laid in play. I was offered to come over there and work a pay-per-view, and I said okay, and then went from one pay-per-view to two pay-per-views to, you know, start racking up wins, and then I get thrown in this championship match, and I take nothing away from what Hossam brought to the table in that three-way, or nothing from what Jason Briggan brought in that three-way. It was probably one of Briggy's better promos than I've seen from him in the past couple of months. I'm not going to be shy about it. Briggy's really been struggling as far as decent promos. The guy's got a lot better promos that he can produce out. But the past couple of months, he's really been struggling producing those great promos out. This one, he did bring it. He knew that he was in a match with Hossam. He was bringing it to the hypes. Hey, I'll put my hand up and I'll give it to Hossam. Hossam, if you want to compare hypes, Hossam got the better of me and Briggy in hypes. It's just honest. Hossam's hypes were really fucking good, and I only did like one hype because I didn't want to give him too much. I felt like if I gave him too much, Hossam was going to get my ass, and I didn't even know where the hell Briggy was at that particular time because it was like an on again, off again. We didn't know what was going to happen. Everybody knows that Jason retired, so we didn't know if he was going to be able to make it for that match, but he did. So hats off to you guys. Next up, you also had Brody over Bad Superman to retain the classic title. You also have I hope I'm saying this correctly. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know all these promo guys by heart. I'm just getting in the rotation of outside of my walls. Loco versus Puppet Master. I think that's how you say his name. Loco gets the win. You also had, is this CLA over Snipes? You also had JD versus Summer. JD gets the win there. Now, this is the part that I got to talk about because I got to tell you, this was the controversy, if you've not seen it, that happened in Elite Marks. Now, Zach Bell and the creator has been going back and forth for a long time. If you've not been watching Elite Marks over there, you've really been missing out on that. These guys actually put on a physical show. I mean, I've watched Zach Bell and the creator fight it out in a barbershop. And, you know, they use blood and everything. Man, it was really good. They really put a lot of work into this story leading up to it. Now, I got to say, man, I know some Elite Mark boys got pissed how that shit went down. But I got to tell you, man, from an owner standpoint and a promoter standpoint, I loved it, man. I loved the way it ended. I'm not a huge Shelby promo fan, I'll be honest with you. But the way basically what happens is the creator finally gets over on Zach Bell. And Shelby has his contract that she's had all this time. And here's the beauty of this. This is what was beautiful about the way they did it. Shelby has had this contract for so long that even their own guys had forgot that this girl had this contract. This girl comes in while the creator's celebrating, got his back turned, cashes it in, hits him in the back of the head with a piece of sheetrock, gets the cover, and takes the belt from the creator. The creator was champion for a whopping 5 seconds. And your new champion is Shelby, which is the couple over there. I think it's awesome, man. I know some of the guys, like I said, you could definitely see the hostility of how angry it made some of the guys, and you could definitely see the hostility of, but the reaction was pure. That's what I loved about it. The reaction was pure, and it wasn't forced in a way, and it wasn't like you seen it coming. Because like when I watched it, because I was pulling for the creator. I like Zach Bell. I think Zach Bell's a great promo star. And I think he's a great heel, and he really gets underneath people's skin. And I think that's awesome. But at the same time, you wanted to see the big payoff from the stuff that these two's been working together towards for fucking ever. And then you're like, oh, in a normal circumstances, the creator would have had that belt when he beat Zach Bell. And that would have been the end of the story. The camera would have flipped off, and that would have been it. And that was pretty much how I believed everyone thought that match was going to go, and it was going to be predicted, is that he would beat Zach Bell and just be the new champion. That would be the end of the story. But it's not. The story is like so much more rooted than that now, because Shelby cashes in her contract, knocks out the creator, gets the pin, new Elite Marks champion. They also have a couple of things. Let's go ahead and talk about. Let me find it here, guys. I just loaded a bunch of new stuff, so I got stuff everywhere. I don't know where it's at. Boom. This is their next pay-per-view that is coming up. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's Army of One that's on the cover of that poster. If I'm not mistaken. Pretty good little logo work. Trey does pretty good, I believe. I give him really good props. He does some really good things that he puts together as far as like, promotion posters and, intros and stuff like that. The stuff, that was one of the things that baited me in was like, man, when he put together some of the stuff and sent me, when I had my first match over there, I was like, okay, that is really, really cool. That's something that, that we actually need to do better. I feel like that we're really slacking on in Revolution. So Elite Marks also, they got that pay-per-view coming up. I believe that's in May, if I'm not mistaken, is what he told me. Okay, cool. Well, that is going to be our Elite Marks section. It's not very long for Elite Marks because I just had that pay-per-view. Let's see, was there anything else over there I need to talk about? They've already got a couple of matches booked for that pay-per-view. I don't remember what they were, but he just posted them like earlier today, I believe. So, yeah. We'll go ahead and move along to the next segment here. We're going to take a quick commercial break, guys, so I can get prepared for this one, and we'll be right back.
So you've spent your life as a wrestling fan. Have you gotten bored of what you've seen on TV and thought to yourself that with your creativity and artistic talent, if you were in control of the characters, you could make an awesome show? Welcome to Revolution. Use your promo skills to play the part, become the star, and compete for real championship belts. Whether your style is bare bones, or you're an outbreak or tag team talent, or even if you want to compete for the grand prize, the Revolution World Championship. It's real fun, real easy, and you can become a champion holding a real belt. Join today.
Love that commercial. Mr. A-List Alverson did a kick-ass job on that break. It's probably one of the better ones we've had as far as promoting our brand and stuff. So got all our belts in there. I love it, man. So fucking nice. Next up, we're going to talk a little bit about Revolution. The long segment we'll have of the night, of course, is FTW. Do not forget that we also have other segments that are coming up. Some of those segments being the natural top 5 efed guys of the month, the not so natural top efed or bottom efed guys, I guess you could say, of the month. It's not a diss, it's just guys. We also going to have the natural top moments and some sleeper guys and possibly sleeper brands. Now, this show is a very, very rough cut of what I want to do here. Let me go ahead and also talk about the fact that I am asking everyone. I got some bloopers today from Mr. A-List Alverson. I need a bunch of bloopers in order to put together a decent enough segment to do the blooper segment. Guys that's been with us a long time, remember the blooper segments. They're very, very funny. It's just a little thing I would like to run on the show. It's probably like 5 minutes, make it like 5 minutes or something for a break to run it. While I'm off camera, it'd be like pre-recorded. It's all the bloopers. We slap them together, put some music with it, make a little segment out of it. It's not something I could do probably every podcast because it takes a minute to get enough to put together. Usually it was like, sometimes it would take like a month and a half to get enough in order to put enough together in order to do those segments. But remember, if you have bloopers and outtakes, ones you messed up on, people walked in on you while you were promoing, your camera falls, shit like that, that shit's funny. It's really, really good and fun segments to run. So make sure that you send them to me. And I don't care if you're from FTW, if you're from Elite Marks, if you're from Revolution, if you have those, send them and I will run them on this show. That's kind of the whole point of this show, is to broad brand all 3 brands in a way. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of the point of the show. Let's see here. Next up, Revolution. Do not forget, you'll also have Behind the Voice that is coming up. I think we're on episode 8 now. The next episode up has got Mr. Josh Steele, the current Bare Bones champion, former Revolution tag champion, former champion in other places. He's held many championships. One half the Life of Blood, tag team that was around, dominated for a while. It's going to be very, very interesting to sit down with Josh. We don't have a date on that yet. Josh has been having like mouth problems. He fucked up his shoulder. So I'm trying to give him some time so we can like do it in the correct slot where the poor guy is not in pain or something. And he's comfortable for, to sit down with us for, an hour or so. So if you don't know what that is, that's actually where I sit down with promo artists and we get to know the real them behind their character. I'm out of character in the show. They're out of character in it. We talk about everything from their childhood to what got them into promos, what got them into wrestling, that kind of thing. Don't forget, also Thursday coming up, you got the Natural Ones, episode 2. And right behind it, we will be running Fight Night. So that's going to be back-to-back stuff on the Revolution page. You will have the Natural Ones episode 2 efed podcast, where I'm going to cover FTW's pay-per-view they got coming up and a couple other little things to wrap up some stuff. And then you got Fight Night right after it. Also, the 30th, you got pay-per-view Salvation for Revolution. Do not forget, the Fight Night card looks like this. You have Big Sweet versus Gene Emerson. You still have, do not forget, guys, that contract signing. There is a mystery guy that is in the Rumble for Salvation. There is a contract signing that is going to happen the 14th that I guarantee you will shake up the talent pool. Also, you have Bad Superman versus the former Outbreak champion, Toaster Damas, who is now the #1 contender for A-List Alverson's Revolution title. You also have Little Sweet versus Chaos. And in the main event, Josh Steele, for his first defense, will put up his Bare Bones championship versus the Warden. That's all happening this Thursday, the 14th, right after the Natural Ones podcast. Let's not forget about Salvation. You also got the Sweet Brothers, who will take on the tag team of Circus Hollywood, of Stumpy and Hollywood, the current tag team champions. That is their first defense for the titles. Remember, the Sweet Brothers beat them. That's how they got the #1 contendership. And also, we got the Rumble, the very first Revolution Rumble, the very first Revolutionary Rumble, because the way we're going to actually do it, it's got a special twist to it, and I think it's going to work out very, very great. Also, the main event, as I said, you got Toaster Damas versus A-List Alverson. Toaster Damas has been calling A-List Alverson out for over 121 days. Finally, he gets his championship shot. You better make it count. Let's go ahead and talk about some past news. You also had Green with NV2 that happened. You had Steele versus Gene Emerson versus Balsalini. Josh Steele got the win in that triple threat. You had Toaster Damas versus the Villain. The Villain blows the promo world's fucking mind and upsets Toaster Damas, and he is the new Outbreak champion of Revolution. Also, you had, like I said, the Sweet Brothers versus the current tag team champions, Circus Hollywood. The Sweet Brothers got the win. And then you finally had what I like to call for now the ending to the story between A-List Alverson and Mr. Wallace, when Mr. Wallace brought a hell of a promo once again, but could not get it done against A-List Alverson. But do not forget, my friends, that Mr. Wallace drew the last number in the Royal Rumble. So if he wins that, he could call his shot. And if A-List Alverson could pull this win off against Toaster Damas, somehow he could have Mr. Wallace knocking on his door again, wanting another championship opportunity. Also, what happened at Greenwood Envy, you had the formation of Ego, the TDC, Chris Champion, Matt Anarchy, and Harry. Let's go ahead and move it along to FTW. Get back up here on my other page. Got some comments going on. Working on an ad for bad Superman t-shirts. Hey, that's cool, man. That's cool. I like mine. The Revolution t-shirt. Pretty nice. Pretty sweet. Mr. Warden is responsible for this logo. Pretty good logo. Thank you, Mr. Warden. Ooh, the Warden, a cupcake, he says. The circus has added some new attractions. Hey. I mean, hey, shit. You'll see it. I mean, all right. Let's go ahead and roll over to the FTW segment. Bear with me, gentlemen. Because I have 2 pages. All right. Now, if I get something wrong, Mr. Haywood, he's in the comments over here. He can correct me. But I think I got it all wrote down correct. So I'll be honest with you. Some of these guys I don't know. I have no clue who some of them are. I'm going to try to get to know some of them. It's kind of my job to know some of them if I'm going to do this podcast. I'm going to try to check some of them out this coming up pay-per-view. See what's going down. So some of them I know, some of them I don't. Some of them I can't really say much about. FTW Night 1, you have a Drag to Hell match. The High Priest versus the Master of Illusion. Now, I don't think that I've seen either one of those guys. I think I've heard of both of them. I mean, just for me, like, scanning through FTW, but I don't think I've ever watched either one of them. I actually sit down and watched either one of them. They're also doing spotlight matches. I think there might have been actually a spotlight match that was added, and I don't think that I got that one. Let's see here. Let me get off this thing right here so I can flip back over here and I can see comments and stuff. All right, next up, you got a PPA spotlight match, Path of Faith championship match between Savior and now Wapio. Is that how you say it? Savior, I don't know if that's the same Savior that I know. So that's what I'm saying. Some of them I don't know if it's the same guys. I've met 100 Saviors in the promo world. I couldn't tell you if that's the right one or not. Next up, you got Chaos versus King of Dad style. Oh, some of these matches are kind of funny though. I just love all this gimmick stuff is funny. Next up, you got Battle for the Better Parking. I'm not laughing at FTW. I just think it's funny, man. I love it, man. It reminds me of like real wrestling stuff. Like that's something real wrestling would do. Battle for better parking. I got to know who the fuck come up with that, because y'all don't have enough parking for your superstars down there in FTW. These guys are having to beat the shit out of them. Just I don't think I've seen either one of these guys either. It's Ivan and versus. Is that the Hammer that I know? I don't know if that's the same Hammer I know. If it's the Hammer I know, it's been years since I've seen that dude promo. I couldn't tell you honestly if he's got better, if he's got worse, if it's the same guy. Next up, you got Grizzly versus the Purge. I like Grizzly. People say what they want to. I think Grizzly Bear is probably one of the most comical things in the promo world. The stupid fucking toilet paper commercial that he made for us is, I play it all the time still to this day, and I couldn't tell you the last time Grizzly was actually had a match with us. It's been a minute, but I still play that damn thing all the time. It's one of my favorite breaks. Next up, you got FTW versus HSP. Give me dough and versus Doc. Is there anything on the line for this FTW versus HSP match, or is it just like an exhibition? Because I don't have nothing that says any kind of like thing or nothing. You got the Turbulence Championship, which is a very nice belt. If you've not seen it, Big Sweet has that belt versus Austin Wild. I've not watched Austin Wild. I've watched Big Sweet. I've been around Big Sweet for a pretty good while. 4-5-ish years or something, maybe. It might not have been quite that long, but it's getting around that. It's getting around that number. I'll tell you this, Big Sweet, he's a really good promo artist, but out of Big Sweet, out of the defense for Austin Wild, Big Sweet can have his moments where he does overlook opponents at times, and it's bit him in the ass. Austin Wild could possibly bring it, but just because I know my boy Big Sweet, I'm gonna have to pull for Big Sweet in this one. It's just a pull for the home team kind of thing. I've never seen Austin Wild promo though. I'm interested to see that match. Turbulence Championship is on the line. If you've not seen that belt, it kind of looks like the TNT belt, but it's got the FTW across it in big letters. And it's got the tornado looking symbols like on the side plates for the Turbulence. It looks kind of sweet. Next up, you got the main event for night one, the Platinum. Sorry, guys, I can't hardly read some of my fucking writing. I wrote this down super fast. The Platinum Guarantee. Is that right? Haywood, am I saying that right? Or is that Garland? Jesus, I fucking slopped that down. I should have wrote that better than that. Sorry, it was a lot to write. You got hoping I'm saying these names right. KZB versus Y2 Jackass versus Hodgson versus Knighton versus Young Gun versus Bojack. Now, I have seen Bojack promo before. I watched him the other day or something. I was flipping through and he had posted something. I sat down and watched it. Not bad. I've never watched Y2 Jackass. That's a hell of a name, man. Y2 Jackass. I love it. That's awesome. I gotta say, man, I like that shit. Seen Hodgson a lot. Not a lot. Versus DB Greatness. Maybe I wrote that down wrong, but I think that's how you say his name, DB Greatness. I promise you guys, this is such a rough draft of stuff that I'm going to do. I'll get to know these names a lot better and know these guys. I've never seen KZB, Y2 Jackass, or DB Greatness. But I've seen Bojack and Hodgson. My favorite out of this would have to be Hodgson or not to walk away in this. Just from what I know, Knighton's pretty good promo artist itself. Hodsom's pretty good. So those other guys, I don't know how good they are, but they better watch out because one of those guys could sneak up in there and get that win. Let's go ahead and roll over to night two. Night two, you got a triple tag for the vacated FTW promo titles. You got Big Sweet versus Elite Alliance. Oh, I'm sorry. Brothers of Sweet. I'm sorry, not Big Sweet. Brothers of Sweet versus Elite Alliance versus Hellraisers. Never seen Hellraisers. Elite Alliance, isn't that Hodsom and Knighton? If I'm not mistaken. Isn't that him and Thompson as a tag team? I'm not 100% sure. I think it is. And of course, like I said, Big Sweet and Little Sweet. Maybe someone can give me an answer over here. While we're waiting, I don't know who Hellraisers are. I don't know who they consist of. I've never heard of that tag team. Like the name. That sounds pretty cool. Sounds like a redneckish type tag team almost. Hellraisers or something. Could be scary too. Could be dark or something. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, Sweet Brothers versus Hossam and Chaos versus Heathen and Rig. Okay. Got you, brother. Got you. Thank you, sir. Next up, I just don't want to get nothing confused, so I don't want to fuck nothing up for y'all. Next up, you got the HSP Spotlight. You got Blackheart versus Mary Sue. I don't know who Mary Sue is. Is that maybe I just don't know who? Maybe I know the person, but don't know the promo name. I know who Blackheart is. That's our NDT, correct? Brother Blackheart. I think Blackheart. I just because I don't know who Mary Sue is. She's new. Okay. She's new. 3 matches in. Okay. Yeah, she don't watch it. Blackheart could sneak up and get her. You never know, though. Never know. Next up, you got if Zodiac loses, he leaves the FTW. Breaker versus Zodiac. Not watching either one of these guys. Hey, I'm always interested in a match if someone's going to have to leave the federation over it or something. I like those terms. Next up, you got the PPA Spotlight Inferno. PPA Spotlight Inferno match. AEP versus the Promo General. Oh, Zodiac. Okay, is the chosen one. I know who chosen one is. Sweet. I know who that is. Next up, I said you get the PPA Spotlight Inferno, AEP versus the Promo General. Breaker is an animated version of KZB. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you look in the comments over here, Haywood's breaking a lot of this stuff down. If you're trying to understand some of this pay-per-view before you go in to watch it, if you've not, been caught up as far as like hypes and what's kind of going on over there, maybe you just got out of the loop for a minute and now you see this big pay-per-view going on. Mr. Haywood over is helping me break some of their talent down. You also got a grudge match between Death Nightmare versus Dylan and Loki. Don't think I've ever seen Death Nightmare because I'm sure that's a tag team. Don't think I've ever seen them. I know a guy named Dylan at promos. I don't know if that's the same guy. And Loki, I have no idea who that is. If you haven't seen Breaker, it is a treat. He will at least make you laugh. Hey, man, that's the shit. Hey, man. Laughter is the key to my heart and promos, man. If you can get me to laugh, especially over some serious shit, I think it's fucking great, dude. $5 minutes LFS death match. White Raven versus Young Buck. Gotta say, don't know who neither one of those guys are. It's a bit next we got Vagabond versus the Lone Wolf Johnny. Some other new names. I don't know exactly who that is. Here you got the Young Gun versus Boss. I know who Boss is. Don't know who the Young Gun quite is. There's a lot of talent here. I don't know who it is. FTW's got a really big fucking locker room, man. Main event, you got the FTW World Championship. Oh, this is going to be interesting right here. And I've been watching them hype back and forth, counting down the damn days for a minute now between Hollywood Haywood versus Mr. Wallace. Mr. Haywood Hollywood is the champion over there right now. It's going to be awesome. Also, as you see dinner, if you read dinner in the bottom there, do not forget that FTW has their Legacy Wing thing going on. I believe it's on YouTube right now. Young Gun is Era of Reality. Okay, cool. Cool. Just call him Wallace. Just call him Wallace. As I said, they got the FTW, they got the Legacy Wing thing going on. It's kind of like the Hall of Fame thing for their efed. Go check that out. I think that'd probably be pretty cool. I thought about doing something like that for Revolution, but I want to wait. Because it's not like every time I think about doing one, it's around the time that someone else is doing one, or I screw up and wait till it's too late, and then when next thing I know, we're in WrestleMania season. And then, a few other places are doing them. I need to really sit down and do one, put it together for Revolution one time. Let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to get to some of our little small segments that we're going to go through. Some of these segments might make you smile. Some of them might make you say, fuck that guy, but it's my opinion. You don't have to like it. This is where we're going to break down some of the things, whether it be the natural top 5 efeders, the not so natural ones of the month. It's just stuff that I've seen that's going on. You also got the natural top promo moments that I've seen over the past month, and some sleeper guys that I think could be the future of their brand. They might not be making a lot of noise right now, or they might be making some noise, but they've not quite held champion. They're not holding a championship, maybe, or something like that. Maybe they've not got their championship match they deserve yet, or something along those lines. These, of course, like I said, will get better and better and better as the show progressively goes along, and I can break down segments better, and I can put a little jazz to it or something. As I said, these were done very, very quickly. Try to break them down a little bit better next go around. Let's take a quick commercial break. As I said, we come back, we'll get to these segments, and we will get out of here and let you guys enjoy the rest of your Friday night.
Hello, Revolution. Boy Stumpy here, and I have an exciting offer for you. Are you feeling down, sad, and a little upset and depressed? You need something to cheer you up? Well, I have the perfect gift for you. How about a little head? A little head. You can get your own right now for the low price of $5.99. I mean, really, it's a perfect gift. Who doesn't like a little head every now and then? Ladies, not sure what to get your husband for his birthday or Christmas? I guarantee you can't go wrong with a little head. It's so crazy. You can have your own little head. Everybody loves a little head. That's only $5.99. So don't be fooled by competitors. Just remember, a little head is $20 down the street. You can buy mine for $5.99. So call the number on the screen below. Call now. Limited supplies.
I am the real CEO of Revolution, and this is Fight Night!
Good old fight night. See, Mr. That show's designed around, superstar, showcasing one superstar like Josh Steele, who is the current bare bones champion. Let's also not forget, before I go on to the next segment, FTW Mania, baby. 2-night spectacle, April 10th and 11th. Only on YouTube and the FTW Promo League Facebook. Make sure you get over and join their YouTube. That way you always get alerted. I think it's the best way to do anything. They don't exactly usually like run a live show on their page. They do theirs through YouTube. But it's still always good to follow efeds' YouTube, man. I mean, it makes sense. That way you always know, because usually if I do anything of importance, it gets put on YouTube also. As I said, it's the best thing to do with us because of the damn copyright bullshit. We get slapped with copyright so damn much. All right, moving along. All right, this is some of the stuff that I've seen over the past couple of months. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to love it. But it's, some of these guys, I do got to give some shout outs to some people that I have seen. And some people, and like I said, the not so natural ones, don't take it as a slap in the face, man. Just take it as you had a bad month. Let me take a quick look over here in a couple of comments before we jump into this. Oh, hold on. Let me correct this real quick. It's the 9th and the 10th. We had to fire a guy. All right, let's go ahead and do let's do the natural top 5 efed guys that I've seen. Number 1, I'm gonna give it to my man A-List Alverson, just because A-List has been on a rampage run. He's a champion. He's the world champion here. He's champion in other places. The guy is talent, man. I mean, on anyone's best day, if we were picking in the schoolyard, this was basically the kickball team of promo guys. A-List Alverson, I would definitely want him on my team. He has definitely put on some crazy stuff and some ideas that I wouldn't think to do. Just the fact that he's been able to get over on Mr. Wallace as good as a promo guy that Mr. Wallace is, it's crazy. And I know A-List itself is not wanting to face Mr. Wallace again anytime soon, because I believe if they face again, A-List might not have no material left. Hey, no problem, my man. I wish that I had more time before I did this to really, really get to know all the characters. But, out of my defense, it's a really big fucking card. There's a lot of guys over there I don't even know, man. So I'm looking to get to know those guys even more better. And the more I know those guys, the more of those guys also will be on this list in some kind of way also. Next up, I'm going to give it to Zach Bell at number 2. As I said, Zach Bell was a champion over in Elite Marks. He was a champion for a long time. He carried that. He carried that championship for a while before what recently happened. Zach Bell's been the champion over there for quite a minute. So I'm going to put Zach Bell at number 2. Next up, I'm going to put Mr. Wallace at number 3. Mr. Wallace is always impressive. The way that I see he handles himself in other leagues, being FTW, being Revolution, he always shows up. He's always class. Class goes a long way in my book as far as promo guys. You really, really earn my respect when you can take a loss and not point the finger and the blame at someone else, whether it be management or whatever. And I can tell you, Mr. Wallace, as good as a promo star he is, he has not had a whole lot of luck in Revolution. And the guy's never said, what the fuck's going on with your judging system? It's, he just tries to get better and tries to figure out a way to get the wins here, man. And I respect the fuck out of that. Next up, you got Mr. Hollywood. Had to put him on the list, man. The guy's been winning championships every fucking where. At one time, he had a shit ton of championships. I don't know how many he's up to, how many he still currently holds. But Hollywood's got had a lot of belts here not long ago. He's winning championships. He's a champion over in FTW. He's a champion in HSP. He was a champion in a couple other places. He was going for championships in Elite Marks. I mean, dude's a beast, man. Dude's a beast. Next up, I'm going to put Villain at number 5, and this is why I'm going to put Villain at number 5. Villain did what no one probably thought he was going to do. There's probably almost no one, and this is not a shot towards Villain, that thought Villain was going to go into that pay-per-view. That pay-per-view would beat Toastradamus. I mean, really, who really thought that was going to happen? I didn't. When I got the results back, I just went, what? Really? And then after I watched the match, it was clear. The Villain come in and he did his homework, man, and he put together a really fine promo, and he pulled that shit off, and he shocked the world. And for that, man, I got to put him on the list. Next up, I'm going to give an honorable mention to the New Revolution Tag Team Champions also for Stumpy. Now, I know, like I said, I know Hollywood has a lot of championships. And I know it meant a lot to Hollywood for them to win those championships. But for Stumpy to get that win was fucking enormous, man. Y'all just don't even know. I watched that cat lose a bunch of matches. He's another one that's first class all the way, never bitches, never complains, never blames the judging system, never blames the brand. Stumpy just takes his losses and his lumps, and he goes on about his business, and he tries to get better. And I, for one, am proud as fuck of Stump. That Stump found a gimmick that works, even when everyone told him it wasn't going to work, me included. I was like, I don't know if that's going to work, man. There's just so many clown gimmicks. But like I said, the way he put that spin on it, man. Right now, they're the current tag team champions for a fucking reason. They have definitely done their part. Next up, let's go ahead and do the not so natural ones of the month that I've seen. I'm going to put the shot callers on here, and I don't mean the shot callers with A-list Alverson included. I've got to talk about Bad Superman and Balsalini. The reason they make the number 1 spot is because I have seen Bad Superman, who has got lost here of late in other leagues. I think he just lost a match in Elite Marks. I think I just seen where he lost another current match. He's not had many wins as far as like single wise, as far as in Revolution. Now, out of his defense, he's not had a whole lot of stuff going on in Revolution of late. I've not had him booked in a lot of stuff other than like that little triple threat thing that they did with Shot Callers versus Toastradamus and the Era of Reality. But also, on the other hand, you also look at Balsalini. Balsalini's not had a whole lot of wins of late. I've seen where he's lost matches in Elite Marks. He's lost matches in Revolution. Balsalini still does sit on that golden ticket that he has, but as far as like matches that they put together, and they've not lost a whole lot of matches here recently as a tag team. I just put them as one slot to share it because they are a tag team here. So they do make the number 1 spot. Number 2, we got to put the Creator at number 2. I might get some heat for this from his ass, but I'm going to put the Creator at number 2 because how do you lose that belt that way, man? That was just the Creator. He was slipping that day, man. He was slipping that day. Number 3, I'm going to put Gene the Crippler Emerson at the not so natural at number 3 for dropping his free number 1 contendership for the Revolution World Championship to Mr. Wallace. Number 4, I'm going to put the current tag team champions of Revolution. They lost a non-title match, which ultimately ended up hurting them because now they have to face the Sweet Brothers again. Now the Sweet Brothers have a number 1 contendership. This time, if they lose the tag team championships. And at number 5, I'm going to put Toastradamus for losing the Outbreak Championship when he was clearly the big favorite going in. Next up, let's do the natural top oh my God moments. This is just some things that I've seen in the promo league the past couple of months, the past month that I thought was crazy. First up, on number 1 spot, I got to give it to Matt Anarchy for the shoot promo that he cut. Whether you liked it or not, that shit was fire, and it got the page a buzzing. And I mean, let's be honest, it lit a fire underneath everyone's ass, whether it was the foes or the allies or whatever the case may be. Matt Anarchy come out and drop one promo and not been around for fucking months. And it instantly lit everything on fire. And it was definitely a oh shit moment for everyone. So he gets a slot at number 1. Number 2, I'm going to give it to FTW as a whole brand for the 2-day card that they fucking put together. of like 17 or 18 matches, however fucking many matches is on those 2 cards. They get the number 2 slot. I'm going to go ahead and give it to Ego at number 3. Ego Be Informed with TDC, Mad Anarchy, Chris Champion, and Harry. Of course, here's Villain making another list. The holy shit moments. Villain beats fucking Tonester for the Outbreak Championship. Number 4, and we'll put Shelby cashes in her contract. And number 5, TDC wins a title after 2 years of not going after championships. This right here is this part right here is part that I'm really, really interested that I want to tweak some more, and I want to get to know some more of these other guys. This is what I was talking about with FTW. Excuse me, guys. And when I can get to know like a lot of those other guys a whole lot better and what kind of work they do, because some of those guys would probably be on this list right now, and they might be after this weekend, or after they have their pay-per-view, they might be on episode 2 for this. These are sleeper guys. These are guys that I thought guys are just not really taken seriously. They could be guys that could slide up and change a brand. Like, I'm going to use an example like a Toastradamus. I called him the future coming in. He's a guy that's ended up winning the Outbreak Championship, and now he's put together a damn good call-out system. I'm sorry that I've not seen a whole lot of guys do call-outs for 120 plus days trying to get a championship match. That's dedication. That's a guy that's changing your brand. It's molding it in a different way. And these are guys I think that could end up doing that for some kind of brand, whether they work for us, or they work for FTW, or they work for Elite Marks, or whoever the case may be. The number 1 spot I'm going to give it to, and this is just some guy that I've noticed here lately, and I am going to butcher this fucking name, and it's Edward Goto. If that's how you say that shit right, he is the Russian guy that is in Elite Marks. Now, that guy right there, man, I'm here to tell you, that guy right there, I don't know if he's really fucking Russian, if he can just speak Russian, but I love the fact that he speaks Russian in his promos. And then he here you go. Yeah, right here. My man right here, Bad Superman. Yes. He is just he is such a heel too. And he reminds me of like your real type of wrestling heel that would be on wrestling. This guy, he speaks Russian, and then he tells you that you're a fucking idiot for not understanding his native tongue. And I love that shit, man. That's so heelish. That's so real wrestling based type heel. And one thing that I feel like the promo world really, really missing on is you got thousands and thousands of dark characters. You got thousands and thousands of badasses. One thing that you don't have is a lot of guys like that puts that kind of time and effort into something and makes it that great. The guy's not a champion that I know of right now anywhere that I'm aware of. I think he's exclusive to Elite Marks. I think he's an exclusive over there. I think he got the stamp that one day I was over there or something. I seen it pop up over there. But, man, the guy is a beast, man. I predict in no time that he could easily come after the Smack Talk Championship or go after one of those other championships, team up with someone and go after tag team but gold, whatever the case may be. If the guy was not in Elite Marks and he was somewhere else, I could see him easily winning championships. He would be a top heel in any company that he would be in. And he's a top heel to me in Elite Marks. He's probably one of the top heels. You have to put like Zach Bell and like him, like it's tight, man. Guys putting in some real good promo work. If you've not seen it, go over there and check that shit out. Next up, I'm going to put Hodson. Now, I know Hodson's won championships before. Hodson's been around for a minute. Hodson it's to some people might not typically be a sleeper guy, but to me, he's kind of a sleeper guy because he's a guy that could sneak up and get you. He's a guy that you might overlook one week, but then the next week he drops a hype and you really question yourself about. He did that shit to me in that triple threat. He made me question myself for a minute. I actually had turned my promo in a little bit earlier than what I probably normally would do. And it already made me nervous when I did that. And because Hodgson is cut those hops the way he did, he made me question whether, did I fuck up? Maybe I should have waited a little bit longer. I think Hodgson could easily, if someone overlooked Hodgson and he was in a world championship match, on any given day, Hodgson might be a world champion somewhere, or another tag team champion somewhere. Like I said, I know he's won belts before. It's not. I think he's had a couple of in his career, or whatever the case may be. Let's see. Next up, I'm going to talk about Tonster Damas. The reason why I'm going to talk about Tonster is because, and I know everyone thinks, so that might be thinking of Tonster as a top guy, but Tonster really hasn't proved that he's a top guy yet. That's not a knock on Tonster. Tonster's just not been around long enough. He is on a losing streak. Do not get me wrong. He is on a losing streak. But I think that once Tonster gets everything tweaked and he gets everything critiqued the way it needs to be, that's a guy that easily could slide up tomorrow and win a world championship if he was in any other company. He could easily beat A-List Alverson if A-List overlooks him too much. Tonster does the right things in the right places. Tonster could be the next Revolution world champion over A-List Alverson. Next up, and this is just, I think these guys are just sleeping giants. These are another set of guys that you don't think of probably when you think underdogs in a way, because Big Sweet's been a champion before. Little Sweet's been a champion before. I think those guys are a sleeping giant tag team, and I tell you why. What they kind of showed, they're still critiquing. You can tell that they're still critiquing. If you never really worked a whole lot of tag team matches and took it serious and actually been a tag team, and like that was all you did, and you was just like trying to dominate as a tag team, and you just went and slapped into some bullshit tag team or something and did it just for a pay-per-view to fill a spot, it's fucking hard, man. It's hard to get yourself and your partner in sync with each other, and it don't always work. It don't. And Big Sweet and Little Sweet definitely have had their bumps that first go around that they tried to do this shit. I was not impressed. Was it the first time that they tagged up in Revolution? It was this big deal, and I'll be honest with you, I was a little let down by it. I know they could do fucking better. Come that tag team match against Circus Hollywood, they did better. And it's just because they're not used to tagging up. It's a totally different world. Big Sweet's always been like a single guy. Little Sweet's usually always been a singles guy. They have two different types of styles. And sometimes those styles don't mold together the way the fuck you want it to mold together. It's really, really hard. Even two big so-called names, I don't like to toot my own horn. I know people think I'm an arrogant motherfucker and I'm in a group called Ego and I really have this huge ass ego. At the end of the day, I really don't like to toot my own horn. I don't think I'm that fucking good. And at the end of the day, Chris Champion, Patrick Shane don't like to toot his own horn. He don't think he's that fucking good. When we teamed up into a tag team, it was fucking brutal, dude. We couldn't do shit together. We lost tag team championships together. That's just the truth about it. We lost in the fucking Ed and Chad over there in VOH because we fucking sucked. Great singles. Fucking you put anyone against us in a singles, we might destroy them. But as a tag team, that shit was not easy to mold. And it's hard to get a tag team going, but I think those guys are starting to put it together. And I predict, man, whether it's FTW or Revolution or if they ever showed up in Elite Marks or whatever the case may be, those guys are going to be fucking tag team champions. And it's going to be hard to get those fucking belts off of them once they find their flow together and it molds. Little Sweet does this thing. I don't know if you've ever paid attention to Little Sweet sometimes. Little Sweet does this thing where he hits lines and it's like a fucking machine gun of just insults. Now he can't do it. He don't do it all the time. That's when I say sometimes when I don't think Little Sweet lives up to his full potential. But when he's up to his full potential and he's actually put in the work for that promo, The motherfucker sounds like a submachine gun going off of insults. It's just like boom, boom. It's like you don't even fucking breathe. And Big Sweet has a way with his words where he can really calibrate and twist and put his polish on them. And it sounds fucking great. I think if those two could ever get the kinks out of it, that's a tag team you have to fucking watch. Next up, I'm going to talk about the main event, another tag team of Chris Champion and Harry. These guys have not had a real match yet. They keep doing this 10 count out stuff. But I do believe that if Chris Champion and Harry ever start taking the tag team division serious, and they did start really putting together great stuff and really going hard on people, they can make some people real uncomfortable, whether it would be here, if they went somewhere else and did something, they can make some people real uncomfortable really quick. That's a real tight tag team right there. They could really hurt. Harry's got some really good lines. Chris Champion's notorious for having great lines. Main event could really dump on some people if they wanted to. Let's see here. And the last person I'm going to talk about for sleeper guys, and like I said, this is a guy that you wouldn't think would be a sleeper guy, but technically he's not doing nothing right now as far as like going after anyone, but he is around, and that's Matt Anarchy. Matt Anarchy is living in the shadows, and no one knows what the fuck he's doing. No one knows which direction he's going, if he's going after championships, if he's going after individuals, what he's doing. And whenever he decides to do that, don't forget, Matt Anarchy was Revolution World Champion for a long ass time. Whenever he decides to do whatever he's going to do, it's going to shake up whatever division the case may be. If he goes after championships, or if he just goes after individuals or whatever, someone might be toting that loss. At least they have a very good promo to come to fire back at him. Well, guys, we are 1 hour and 10 minutes. We're going to wrap up episode 1. Let me go ahead and talk about a few things before we go. Do not forget to get those bloopers to me, whether you're from FTW, Elite Marks, Revolution. If you're cutting stuff for your shows and it's just promo related, whatever the case may be, get your stuff over to me so I can put all of it together in a segment. Do not forget, this Thursday you have episode 2 that's going to be going down to this podcast. We're going to recap some of FTW stuff for their pay-per-view and a few other little things. And right behind it, you have Fight Night, where the Bare Bones Championship will be on the line, and that huge contract signing that is coming to Revolution. Also, if you are efed and I'm not currently talking about you, reach out. Talk to me, man. Send me your pay-per-view cards. We will get your show talked about on here. As you see right here, here's Elite Marks pay-per-view that's coming up. You also got the FTW one, which he said it was the 9th and the 10th, not the 10th and the 11th. And you got Salvation that is coming up for Revolution for the very first Rumble that we've ever had. A-List Alverson will be putting his championship on the line, and a couple of other little things that will be going down. So tag team championships are also on the line. The Sweet Brothers get their opportunity once again. Maybe they can catch their Revolution Tag Team Gold. If they do, that would be 2 for Little Sweet. He would be a 2-time Revolution Tag Team Champion. If you remember, him and Villain held those tag team championships for a minute before Life. I believe it was Lifeblood that took it from them. Yes, sir. He's going to send me some information on behalf of Wrestling Marks. If you've not joined Wrestling Marks, get with Mr. Bad Superman there. Get over and join that page. That page is pretty good also. I know who this is. How you doing, Mr. Steele? Greetings and salutations. I know who the fuck that is. What he says every time, even though it ain't got his name on it. Thank you guys, everyone that sat through this for an hour and something. Like I said, it's a little rough. We're in the beginning stages of it. I'm going to put these segments better together. I'm going to get to know some of these promo guys a little bit better than I know some of the other guys. So FTW's got guys over there I've never even heard of before. I love getting to see new promo guys I've never seen before. Make sure you check out that pay-per-view. I think theirs is going to be crazy, man. 2 days worth, it's a lot of matches. It's going to be awesome, dude. That's a hell of a. I don't know. I think Revolution had 14 matches or something one time. It was the most we ever had or something, and that was hell putting together. I'll limit ours now to like. It's a big event. I get why they did it that way, though. It's a big ass event, but I remember like we did one time like that. It was horrible. More power to them. I feel the same way. And not only that, I would like to try to get to know other brands that maybe I don't know, maybe, or promote other places that I don't know. And maybe, it kind of gives like the bridge in a way. Like I said, I want to promote other efeds. They just have to have, good work relationship and a good reputation. I'm not going to go out of my way to promote who I think are garbage, garbage human beings. So, that's just me. It's my personal opinion. If other people want to do it, then make your own podcast. But yeah, man. Also, man, I want feedback from guys. What you liked, what you didn't like, the segments you liked, what you didn't like. If you think I should change things, let me know. Also, I want if maybe there might be some kind of info I'm not speaking enough on, or info that I'm missing that I don't cover, or if you think maybe my segments are too long, or whatever the case may be, get in my inbox, let me know, tell me what I need to do to make the show better. I've had a lot of podcasts. People know that I've been on a lot of podcast stuff. This is one I would kind of like to stick around. I'm not looking for it to be super, super huge, and I don't expect it to get, 500 fucking views a week. But it is a good way of kind of like taking the news efed thing and kind of, putting a twist on it and putting it alive as a podcast, and, kind of spreading the love around a little bit, for FTW and Elite Marks and, and whoever else, I would love to be able to have like maybe a brand or two more, 3 more, 4 more to talk about, to fill up time. I want random promo guys to come on from different efeds, not just Revolution. I would like guys from Elite Marks to come on, guys from FTW to come on. I might actually start reaching out to certain ones. Maybe there might be a guy that you want to see on the show. He might not be a guy that's in Revolution, a guy that might not never be on Behind the Voice or be on, some other type of stuff with us. Maybe we can get them on here. Maybe if you know them and you want to build that bridge and say, hey, I think it would be good for FTW for us if you'd go over and be on this show and talk and promote us and whatever the case may be and such. So, like if you know guys like that, if you think you got guys that you want to represent your brand, get with me, send them my way. Let's put something together. Let's get them on the podcast. Let's talk about your brand and whatever you're trying to promote. So. No, man. No. That's not going to happen, sir. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining. Make sure you spread this around. Post your shit around on other pages. Reach out to other efeds. Show it to them. Maybe they might like to join up with us and, put some of their stuff on here also. When you start doing that, you start building little bridges. That's how you get cross promotion shows, or, cross promotion talent and all that kind of stuff from time to time. So do not forget, that is why we are revolutionary. Thanks, guys.